calling all football fans in the UK, it's official. GFN Soccer TV has launched on Samsung TV Plus. All the banter, all the news, all the time.
It's time to stack up on Arsenal players. This is your FPL Game Week 7 preview from DR Sports. I'm Gianni FPL. I'm joined by regular co-host Matisse. And we've got Nick in the house as well, fresh off his triple captain Haaland. We'll talk Arsenal in a bit, but first, let's just reflect on that triple captainship, Nick.
Huge.
90th minute, squeaky bum time.
Huge. I mean, it was, when was it? So he had the assist, and when did he get the first goal?
91.
Yeah, and then the second one came later. That was
95.
huge for me. That saved me a little bit.
Yeah.
It's got me up my rank up because I was struggling. Like we all were. We all said we were struggling.
Yeah.
But those clutch goals right at the end really did me nice. I needed those. I was in trouble, and I know I'm not alone in that. There's a lot of people that triple captain Haaland.
Yeah.
And we're happy when those 2 goals went in.
There's around 800,000 managers that did that. They went triple captain. Similar went wildcard last week. Matisse, how was your game week? Who'd you captain?
Not great. Captain João Pedro, 4 points. I wasn't expecting Chelsea to lose at home to Brighton at all,
Mate.
especially in that fashion as well. So it's not been a great week. Dewsbury Hall's now injured along with Livramento as well. Semenyo is actually really doing quite well for me, and Doku obviously had a good game for Man City, so that helped.
Oh, you brought Doku in live on air last
on
week.
the air, yeah, literally.
I thought of you when he got when he got an assist.
But the strikers Gyokeres, Isak, João Pedro really let me down, man. And the bench wasn't great either.
Isak's surely going to come good. You got some good differentials. Dewsbury Hall though, he's suspended because he got 5 yellows. He's on 5 yellows.
Yeah.
Already
In 6 games.
Yeah, and it was never a yellow. Like I actually think he got the ball, and I'm a Dewsbury Hall owner, so I was livid with that.
Even the one before that, when he took the free kick too quickly.
Yeah.
I've never seen that be yellow carded.
Did you see he's tweeted?
Yeah.
You rarely see this from a player being
Yeah.
like he feels hard done by.
Which is fair.
Yeah.
Even Grealish came out and said it after the game, right? Like, I've never seen a player be carded for taking a free kick too quickly. That's outrageous.
Yeah, it's mad.
So he's a little bit unlucky in that sense. So
Surprised-
far, he's been a good asset to have.
Surprised that's not been overturned.
Yeah.
Can
Yeah,
you
I don't know,
overturn
is
yellows?
it the
Maybe
yellows?
not. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
maybe
might be
not.
an issue, but
Yeah, he was livid. You saw
Unlucky.
his reaction. Yeah, I like him. The Low Sox ballers are back at Everton. Look, let's talk teams first and foremost and look forward, and then we'll get into deeper discussion about some of the games most sold and most bought in players this week. We've got some stuff at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you're hitting that like button, and do, of course, subscribe to DR Sports. We do this every week on the channel now. Matisse, let's see your team first and foremost and how you're shaping up your thoughts going into Game Week 7. I love the fact you've got a fair few differentials in there, like Burmo and Isak. Munoz, who was so close to a mega haul last time out, like he very nearly scored Alisson with a worldie save, and then obviously the late clean sheet wipeout. On another day, Munoz gets 17 points last week and he got 2.
yeah.
One off DEFCON as well. So yeah, what's your early thoughts? Are you making a transfer?
I made a transfer of Caicedo coming in for Dewsbury Hall, and I think Caicedo I'll probably keep as well, just purely for his defensive contributions. He's very cheap on this game as well. And Buemo, I'm just sticking with at the moment. I'm thinking that at some point the manager's going to get sacked. So I'm keeping him at this probably very nice price point that he's at, and just praying that at some point he's going to go in some crazy run of form for Man United in some part of the season. And yeah, I'm still sticking with that front three, even though it's not necessarily working out for me right now. Gyokeres at home to West Ham, new manager Nuno, West Ham, could they be more defensively airtight now? I remember on last week's show I was saying I was going to captain Gyokeres, and then Potter gets sacked, and now I'm just like, I don't really know if that's necessarily going to get me the maximum points. So I haven't decided to triple captain anyone this week, but I've gone with that team so far. Yeah,
it does change things, that Nuno appointment, doesn't it? It flips the script completely. I mean, Potter, they were so vulnerable and open. You expect with Nuno they're going to be different. I mean, wasn't one of the first things that Nuno did was take James Ward-Prowse out of the team?
Mate, you didn't even make the squad.
Yeah, exactly. So he literally looked at him and was so, all right, you're a technical good player, but I need someone who's defensively stable in midfield, and got rid of him straight away. So that tells you all you need to know about what Nuno's going to be about at this West Ham team.
We saw him ship Ward-Prowse out at Forest straight away. He's just not a player for him. So
good point.
Yeah.
I
So
forgot about that.
they've got history, those two. But Ward-Prowse must be livid because it's like, you know, he's gone to West Ham from Forest because of Nuno, and then he's at West Ham and happy, and Nuno comes in. He's not even in a match day squad. But mate, West Ham for me, like, we'll see fixture ticker later, guys, but they've got some great fixtures after the Arsenal game, and I just know we're going to get clean sheets from West Ham now.
Yeah,
like
that's a
Nuno
good point.
gets clean sheet. Kilman's in my wildcard team at 4.4. I'll show you my wildcard team later. So yeah, I think, mate, this is a big green arrow for you this week, surely. Like, this looks good.
It's a lot of home fixtures.
It's a lot of home
on
fixtures.
Semenyo, you're happy there, or because you were thinking Gyokeres before, but Semenyo home to Fulham, he scored a free kick.
Yeah, I feel like that's the safest bet right now. I feel like the strikers for me, I'm just not sure if they're going to necessarily do exactly what I would like. I think, like I said, Nuno's defensive kind of new structure at West Ham. João Pedro against Liverpool, that's too risky. Isak against Chelsea is a bit too risky for me. So I'm going to go with Semenyo just because he's in great form. He's in brilliant form.
Yeah, and João Pedro, finally on your team, hasn't made the Brazil squad because of his injury, his ongoing injury. Still should be good to play for Chelsea this week, though. So it's a nice rest. And we also know that he's suspended in the next Champions League game. So actually his Premier League minutes for the next few, which he's got Sunderland coming up. Before that, he's got Forest coming up after Liverpool. It's quite good.
Should be good. Yeah, should be good. He's by far Chelsea's best attacker available right now. If Esteval starts playing more often as well, there might be some synergy there, but just needs to get some chances created for him and get some goals. It's not like João Pedro's missing chances. He's barely had any shots in the last few games, just not getting any opportunities. He's having to drop deep, link up play, and Chelsea are not really ranking very well for entries into the box and things like that and crosses into the box. They're just not firing up front at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know what to expect from Chelsea right now, to be honest. They're very... I mean, you can look at their last few games and say, well, they're anomalies because of the red cards, which, by the way, is crazy. Was that 3 on the trot now?
Yeah,
3 games on the trot, red card. So that needs to change. But yeah, I agree. João Pedro is a nice, tidy player, but he's not getting the chances right now. But if you got him in the team, obviously you keep him. Of course you do.
I was going to ditch him on wildcard, but now I'm like, with the suspensions in Europe and the fact he's not playing for Brazil, I feel like I have to keep him. But he's only had 1 attempt. You mentioned not many shots. It's one shot in 3 matches.
Ooh,
it's bad.
That's
pain.
No Delap, no Palmer. It's really bad up front for Chelsea at the minute. So maybe we're going to go more pragmatic and we're going to see more clean sheets and the 1-0 wins, which is what we saw in the week.
Yeah.
Could be my take moving forward on Chelsea. But I think he's still the highest owned player in the game, João Pedro. He's a very dangerous sell.
Yeah, if you've got him, I don't think you think about selling him. But equally, if you haven't got him, maybe don't necessarily bring him in right now. I don't know though, because it could flip the script. Do you know what I mean? Like we just said those 3 red cards change everything, right? True. In the games to come, Chelsea might turn up a little bit. Chelsea can be that kind of side. You can, like, you went to West Ham and pumps them 5-1, was it? Yeah. So Chelsea do have that in them. And if they do, then João Pedro you'd expect to be one of the haulers in that team. Enzo is still doing well as well from Chelsea.
And he's playing 10 a lot.
Yeah.
He's getting G&A. He's not great, but for points-wise, I
thought about him on my wild card, but I just thought surely the luck runs out soon, but he's still continued putting up a few numbers.
He's a good box crasher. I have him a bit like a Reinders, where his timing into the box, often to get on the end of something, is often bang on the money, which is how he gets big chances.
Yeah.
He could be on penalties. We saw him take a pen when João Pedro was on the pitch, but we don't know if João Pedro gets the next one. This is obviously with no Cole Palmer.
Yeah.
Finally on this game, though, João Pedro versus Liverpool. Matisse, Liverpool on the ropes versus Palace. They conceded so many big chances. Palace, the worthy winners. Yeah. And then again in the week against Galatasaray, Liverpool didn't really show up. Konate is having an absolute stinker at the minute.
Yeah.
Like, Chelsea go into this fixture usually if we'd said 2-3 weeks ago, you got Liverpool at Anfield, Stamford Bridge in a few weeks. Liverpool favourites, but I would argue this one's a bit of a coin toss now.
It's becoming a little bit like that for the fixture. I feel like if Chelsea had all their guys available, I'd be really, really confident that we could actually do something in terms of getting a win. Obviously, like I said, no Delap is a big miss because he doesn't necessarily get to stretch the defensive line back with Van Dijk, Konate, and give João Pedro that space, that room to operate. I feel like a player like João Pedro might actually suit a Van Dijk and a Konate in a weird way. Okay. Whereas maybe not, because he is technically sound, he is solid. It's just he doesn't really have anyone to run with. There's no running mate. There's no tag team partner. You know, it feels very much like he's isolated, like he's alone. Obviously, being 10 men doesn't help, but there's no one on his wavelength starting at the moment. And obviously, Esteval's still quite young, so his indecision and his decision making in the final third is still quite unpredictable and inconsistent, which is what you'd expect. So there's just no one running with him at the moment. So that's kind of not great in terms of getting him goals or even getting him assists because he would create chances. But yeah, the fullback areas, Gyokeres, maybe Frimpong, we're looking at those areas as maybe weak points as well. They've been struggling in those positions this season defensively. So yeah, it really just Chelsea's what I'm most scared of. Do they get another red card? Yeah. Do they make another mistake? Do we have another random moment of weakness? You know, Chelsea, if they make mistakes like they've done in previous weeks with Isak and Salah and Wirtz and regardless of the form of these players, they'll probably put the ball in the back of the net.
It's a well-rested Mo Salah as well. He didn't play. He came on late in Turkey. He could be a bit hungry this time round. Mo Salah, who's got a good record against Chelsea. Nick, let's see your team, and I want to see how many Man United players you've got taking on Sunderland, of course, and also your take on captaincy. So we've got questions in the chat like between Saka and Haaland captain, says Shinji Dude. We'll talk captaincy later, guys, but I'm guessing Haaland's going to be a set and forget for many.
All right, so running through my team then. So Raya in goal is just a no-brainer at home to West Ham. Van der Ven leads away isn't perfect, but it's very viable for a potential clean sheet there. Gabriel, Timber, again, alongside those Arsenal assets. It just makes sense. Senesi, once again, getting DEFCON points. Oh, not did he get? Yeah, he did get
6 from
DEFCON
6.
points.
He's the only one.
Yeah, and he also got an assist right at the end there as well.
And
So
bonus.
yeah, there you go. So he's obviously staying in there, and I learnt my lesson from benching him 2 weeks ago. So he's definitely in there. Javi Simons, I'm starting. Eyebrows are raised a little bit.
I think he got a rest in the week, which is good for you.
Yeah, for sure. It's just I feel like Spurs have gone a little bit off the boil in terms of going forward and creating chances.
They ain't going to score many, but they're not going to see many. They're going to be quite boring, I think.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So at the start of the season, they looked quite vibrant and poignant going forward, and I feel like that's just slowed right down now. And actually, we haven't yet seen Javi Simons in the 10, which is really where I wanted to see him, which is why I brought him in. He can still be effective on the left, and he definitely should have scored a chance that he got against Brighton. But he's one that I'm now thinking about. Bruno Fernandes is just, I don't know what to say. Like I brought him in after Chelsea because I just thought he's one of those solid, consistent, many routes to goal kind of player, and then he misses the pen and gives me -1. It's like, I can't win here. Semenyo, easy all day. Reinders, again, easy. Haaland, of course, I'm probably going to captain him. Looking at my team, I could be tempted by Semenyo as well, but I just think Haaland is the no-brainer there. The one I'm not so sure about is whether I play Joao Pedro or whether I play Gakpo. That's the two that I'm kind of juggling right now. Currently, I've got Gakpo on the bench. I'm leaning more towards that because I think at least Joao Pedro's minutes are safe. He'll probably play the full 90 minutes, whereas Gakpo got benched in the last Prem game.
Yeah.
Could start, but could come off in the 60th minute. So at the moment, I'm leaning more towards Joao Pedro. But yeah, I'm feeling all right this week. I feel like the Arsenal triple up could come in clutch for me. Because while West Ham are now defensively more stable, I can't imagine them doing much going forward against Arsenal. So those three at the back feel nice. Senesi, Semenyo feel nice. And let's see what Man City do away to Brentford as well.
You're in good shape. I feel like the Spurs, Van der Ven's the only Spurs defender that's not missed a game. He keeps rotating, like giving everyone a game's rest. Last week it was Porro. Van der Ven again started in the week. I feel like this is his rest week, but it doesn't matter. You have Gakpo come on anyway.
Yeah.
Matisse, what's your take on Bruno? Because Man United have had 3 penalties, and Bruno's only scored 1, which is not like Bruno. He hits his pens around 80% of the time, I think, and he's obviously 33%, 1 from 3. Is Bruno a good FPL pick? Because a lot in the community, a lot of FPL content creators, in fact, pretty much everyone that wildcarded last week, and I know a lot of them, I don't know one that didn't go Bruno. He's a proper FPL community darling. 90 minutes, penalties, great for DEFCON, still a bit of open play goal threat, 9 million. Personally, I don't often pick him, and he's not been in my team this season, and I'm wildcarding and I'm not going with him. Just because I don't trust the team.
Yeah.
Where are you at with United and Bruno?
Yeah, I wouldn't trust the team, and I also wouldn't have him on penalties anymore. I'd give them to Mbeumo, not just because he's in my team,
record.
but just I could do with the points as well, But yeah, when you've missed two now out of 3, I think it's time to hand it over. You got Cunha, you got Mbeumo, you got people that are very good ball strikers that can take penalties. I think in previous teams maybe he would have been the only option or the main option, with everything going on with Rashford at Man United the last couple of years. But I think now he should be giving it over. I don't know. I don't like the position he plays. Yeah, if he played guaranteed to play in that front line, in the front 3, I think I'd definitely go Bruno. And I think that's why he's got so much credit in the bank and so much stock, because he does get loads of goals and loads of assists because he's playing further forward at Man United. But in this new position, when he's deeper, I'm not sure over the course of the season if he's going to be as prolific or as effective as he's been in previous campaigns with that deeper role. Maybe he'll just get more DEFCON points.
Yeah,
and
he's
that'll
slightly
balance it
better
out.
for DEFCON.
Yeah.
But you want the goals and assists, really,
Yeah.
don't you?
Yeah.
Especially if you're spending
For
9 million.
9 million, exactly. Because if I wanted DEFCON, I just get
Yeah.
Caicedo and I'll get other midfielders like Anderson. So
tick along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, he will keep taking penalties. He won't come
think?
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can't come off penalties. I just feel like
Because he's captain and the main man at the club.
he's captain, main man of the club. And
Ordinarily, you miss 2 and you got Mbeumo in the wings. That
Hand it
swap
over.
would happen.
I
yeah.
know, but this is like Bruno Fernandes when it comes to penalty is in the realm of like your Harry Kane's.
Yeah.
If Harry Kane misses 2, you're not taking it off him. Bruno Fernandes before the start of the season, I think, you might need to check the stats on this. I don't know if it's exactly correct, but he was something like percentage-wise the 6th best penalty taker of all time.
Yeah, I think he's about 85, 88%.
Is
and
unreal.
average is 78.
He never misses.
Yeah.
I don't know why he's abandoned this hop, skip, and jump because it worked. For
It
him.
did work.
Like it worked. He would delay, and wait for the keeper to push his body onto one side and then calmly put it in the other side. He's now kind of stopped that. Against Kelleher, it wasn't a power, like he didn't put his laces through it, but he also didn't wait for the keeper to go first. And Kelleher, as we know, is a good penalty stopper anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bruno for me, it's one of those where he could still go and haul against Sunderland. Like he's still creating, I think, the second most chances in the Premier League this season.
Yeah.
So he's still creating the chances. And actually, if we had some players who could actually put away more of those chances, then he'd look like a much better asset. So he still takes penalties. He's still a viable option. But yeah, playing deeper isn't ideal. Ruben Amorim, it's not really working right now. We're not playing well. So I do get it. If you don't want to bring him in, I do understand.
And
But
Sunderland
midfielders is quite
playing
tough
well.
right now. Sunderland are playing well.
So it's going to be a great game. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Cameron Starr says Amorim, he's a United fan, is Cam. He's so stubborn he won't come off pens. Thank you for the super chat, mate. Kristen's become a gold member. Thank you, mate. FPL Mackham says, reckon it will be Bruno's choice. Think he's earned it at 88%. We've got a knowledgeable chat in the house today. FPL Mackham, whose Sunderland team will face United. Yeah, 88% conversion, Bruno, until those misses. So yeah, you're right. He's bang up there.
Yeah.
Is this a new show on DR? Says Ian. Weekend preview is coming on in the next 45 minutes. Stay tuned for that. We'll talk Arsenal in a minute, guys, because we've got a beeline for Arsenal players. I am convinced. Do hit that like button. We've got over 200 of you watching. We'd love you to do that. Thanks for all the subs, as always. But let's just see my wildcard team, because I've been on the edge of wildcard for a couple of weeks now, and because I went triple captain last week, I therefore couldn't wildcard last week, when wildcard probably looked quite good. But this is who I'm looking at this week, and I have hit the button last night. So triple Arsenal, which we're going to discuss in a minute. We won't talk about them now, but I'm going for a few punts like Ismail Assar. Really caught my eye in recent weeks. He's now back fit. Minter there on the bench will get game time, a bit like Sarr, just a flying wide man. Semenyo I haven't owned, who I clearly need. The front line feels a little bit boring and predictable, but those three are just in. Ollie Watkins, by the way, who's been flop of the FPL so far with Virt, managed to get 8 points last week, and I'm selling him ahead of Burnley. That feels wrong.
Yeah.
But I feel like
I think you're fine. Like I look at Haaland, Juan Pedro, and Gyökeres.
yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. I can't trust Watkins and Aston Villa going forward still.
Yeah.
They still didn't look great in that match either.
No, they didn't.
still didn't
First
look
half
great.
they were bad.
So I still would stay away. I think you've done the right thing there.
And Pope in goal. Like, no, everyone's got Raya, and rightly so.
Ooh.
But Newcastle for clean sheets. I think it was you, Matisse, who... Do you have a Newcastle defender early on
I
this
had
season?
Livramento and Hall,
Yeah.
but then obviously they've now got injured. So
And they were keeping clean.
yeah, it was going all right for me. But Pope is a
That's a
great
good
shout,
shout,
to be fair.
yeah.
'Cause
Yeah, he's
what's his
5
price
million.
point?
So he's
Yeah, that's a
cheaper,
good price
0.6
point.
cheaper than Raya.
That's a good point. Yeah. Good
And,
price
and
point.
again, he's got good fixtures. So yeah, I'm fairly set on this wild card. There's a few players I want. Anthony Gordon, another Newcastle player, took 2 penalties last night. We didn't know he was on pens. I thought Waltemada might have them.
Yeah.
He takes the first pen, scores it. They get a second pen, and Waltemada's on the pitch, and he wants the penalty, and Gordon goes, nah. Gordon takes a second pen and scores it, and that's the sort of mentality you want in an FPL asset.
You can see
right?
he's got a bit of that.
He has
That
got a bit of that.
he's that kind of player.
So Gordon I really want, but it's Gordon or Semenyo, and I feel like with Semenyo we know European football distraction. Got to have him.
Would you have enough money to go Gordon instead of Sarr?
No, there's a million. There's like there's 1.2 between them. I think.
Right.
It's slightly. I think it's a shootout between Semenyo. I could go Sarr to Gordon and then go Minter down to an enabler, but kind of want that depth.
Yeah,
Kinda
agreed.
want that
I do like the Sarr pick because when I was looking, because I'm not convinced by Gakpo, and I was looking at midfield options. Sarr with the fixtures coming up and Palace looking really good, and Sarr we know what he can do. He's a threat. He's dangerous. So I do like the Ismail Sarr pick as well. I don't think it's a bad pick, but I think if you're going Semenyo or Gordon, Semenyo is just the consistent.
Yeah.
You know what you're getting from him over Gordon. So
yeah, he gets 90 every week. Semenyo. Gordon will still get a couple of early subs.
Yeah.
Matisse, what's your take on that Palace attack? Sarr and Mateta are effectively a front two now without Eze. Like Yeremy Pino plays a bit deeper in this team, and Sarr is like it's almost like Mateta's strike partner.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they've lost Eze, they've lost Elise, they've lost, obviously, if we go way back, Zaha, so there's a lot of quality to kind of replace there. But Sarr's been impressive over the last couple of, maybe 6-7 months in terms of taking more responsibility, really good in the finals as well. So I like that pick. Mateta, I don't know, it feels weird. I'm not really hearing about him as much this season. I don't know why that is. Palace obviously off to a great start. I expect them to drop off though. And surely it's not going to carry on, you know what I mean? So I'd almost feel like maybe you should have had Palace players if you didn't have them already for this early start, because now at some point they're going to drop off and you're probably not going to get the points you think you are.
Yeah, I know. It's hard. Like, and those Thursday night games with Palace, I feel like they're in Poland tonight. It's going to surely take it out of them because they don't really play the B team. They can't. They're in Europe. No, like, they've got to make the most. You should make it.
Yeah, the fans are traveling out to these European destinations. It's their big trips now. Like this, obviously they want to be in Europa League, but even still, they'll want to go and win the competition. I think they can win it.
100%.
So they should take it seriously.
Because I was looking at the two sort of Premier League teams I was looking at. Because Villa, I don't think I know it's Unai Emery and he loves the competition, but Villa, the way they're looking right now, I wasn't sure. At the beginning of the season, I was looking at Forest and Palace, and with everything that's happened to Forest now, when it comes to Premier League teams in the Europa League, I am looking at Palace with a genuine chance at attacking that Europa League. So it makes sense. And they don't have a great deal of depth. So they're going to have to play a lot of their better players on Thursday nights and then hope that they're still okay for a Sunday fixture in the Premier League. So I do expect a drop-off as well. But Sarr, like I said earlier, I do like Sarr.
The day Glasner leaves, there's going to be a massive drop-off for Palace as well. If Glasner, he is everything to this team. He's so good.
I can't see him leaving mid-season, though.
United?
No, I don't. I'm not personally. I don't really want a free back manager again. That's my stance. But obviously, the board will see it differently. Glasner, I just feel like he's got a good relationship with Palace now. He's got him into the competition. So, yeah, I think he stays. And also, Palace are quite astute in that sense. They don't let go of their players easy. I don't think they'd let go of their manager easily either. So I think he's there for the rest of the season.
Yeah, okay. Ice G says JP says João Pedro to Strand Larson and then Sarr up to Gordon could work, or Minter to Gordon. And I don't hate that. The problem with João Pedro now is not going on international duty with Brazil is the rest I think he needs. And I think that plus the red card in Europe, which is better for his FPL minutes, that has maybe do a 180 on João Pedro. I was willing to ditch him on wildcard to someone like Strand Larson, who's cheap, got great fixtures, now back fit, but I can't sell João Pedro now, so he's staying in the team. Let's talk and change the conversation towards Arsenal though, because they are absolutely the team I think we have to target. They are top of the fixture ticker. They've got loads of great options in FPL. I think we're going to see in 5-6 weeks them top of the Premier League. I think they've got the fixtures to do it, and I think the momentum off the back of that Newcastle game. So, Matisse, when we look at the fixtures here, this is filtered by difficulty, attacking difficulty, all the way through to game week 12. They're top of the ticker by some distance, but West Ham, Fulham, Palace are 3 London derbies.
Yeah.
And then Burnley and Sunderland before Tottenham. Like, what a run of 5 games that is. You want to be on the right Arsenal players in FPL, because if they're going to score big and have a high ceiling in those 5 games, you want probably double attack versus double offence, right?
Yeah, that's I've got Gyokeres, I've got Eze, and then obviously Raya in goal. It doesn't matter really what part of the pitch you pick. You should be eating very well. Defensively, they should be keeping clean sheets. Going forward, they should be scoring goals. He obviously loosened the handbrake against Newcastle and kind of played Eze in the 10. He made a lot of jokes about that in his pressers. If he starts to play Eze more as a 10 and more as a attacking midfielder, as an 8, etc., and gets that extra attacker on that pitch, Arsenal could look a bit more fluid. They could look a lot more exciting to watch. They were very good in that first half, had a lot of chances. Eze probably should have scored a couple goals. Gyokeres had a header. So if that's the direction he's going in, obviously Saka's back now. Wanyeri obviously could come on. There's just so many options. I'm expecting Arsenal to really be minimum picking up 10 out of the next 12. Even
they could win all.
They could win all of them.
Looking at those fixtures, they could easily win. Not easily, but they could very well win all of them.
From those 5 before Spurs, there's 3 clean sheets there at least, isn't there? 3 clean sheets. Maybe
West Ham,
Burnley, one of
Burnley and Sunderland, surely.
The next 5, you're looking at minimum 13 points.
Yeah, and you should be looking at an average of 2-3 goals a game. Like, there's no reason why you can't average over 2 goals a game.
Crystal Palace at home is the one I look at and think,
that's...
okay, maybe they're the really informed team that could be difficult. But
they're the one that I think could stop Arsenal from scoring, but I'm still not convinced that they could hurt Arsenal going the other way. Because the way they hurt Liverpool was on the set pieces.
Yeah.
Arsenal won't have that problem, I don't think. So unless it's on the counter-attack with like a Sarr and Mateta linking up, I'm not sure if Palace... I'm not saying they can't score, but I'm saying I wouldn't be overly worried about them scoring. But on the other, going the other way, they could very well keep Arsenal out and keep a clean sheet at the Emirates.
What Arsenal need going into some of these games, I think, is a fit and firing striker who's bagging goals. And at the moment, you could argue that's the only thing they don't necessarily have. But Gyokeres, who played 90 against Olympiacos, he's been praised for his work rate, his off-the-ball stuff by Arteta, who said he was excellent against Olympiacos. But surely he's going to think, and deep down Arteta knows, he needs to start getting on the score sheet. We saw him haul against Leeds, and he scored against Forest. So his 2 big returns this season have been against middling to lower half teams. That's who he plays in the next 5. Like, this is where Gyokeres earns his dough, right?
Yeah. He's struggled, obviously, against big teams. I don't think it's all been his fault because, obviously, Arteta's gone with quite flat midfield, so the chance creation has not really necessarily been there. Man City's a great, point in case for that in terms of the first half. But, yeah, he's been beating up the little teams, the smaller teams, and I think you're right. I think he's going to smash in a lot of goals in this period, and that's why I've got him in. And I'm considering triple captain him at some point in this run.
Yeah.
I think anyone who doesn't have Haaland and maybe does have Gyokeres will probably be considering that as well. If you've got both, then you're probably looking at it. I don't know which fixture it will be. Maybe one of the newly promoted teams.
It's a shame they're not at home, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the problem. I'm not really sure if I want to do it in a away game. I think I'd probably rather go home, but that's the Palace game, and I don't want to go with that and West Ham Nuno. So it's going to be one of these games, but yeah, I'm not sure which one.
Yeah, okay. From Gyokeres, Nick to Saka, he's now back fit again. He got the rest against Olympiacos, which for FPL I think was a good thing. And then you come on and see him score straight away. Yeah. I was like, if he gets half an hour and looks good against Olympiacos, he's coming into my FPL team. And he did, and I hit the wildcard button after the game and bought Saka straight in. Like, we know on his day he's as good as anyone, pretty much.
Yeah, and the thing is with Saka as well is that when you look at other midfielders in and around that price point, Salah's not doing the business, Palmer's injured, Bruno Fernandes is a bit hit and miss. So Saka is... If he can come good, then he's that one premium-ish midfielder that you could have in your side. I've often said this about Saka, that he doesn't haul. But in the next 5, could he get 3 goals, 3 assists? Definitely. Like, it's not crazy, but it's consistent numbers week in, week out. So, yeah, I am looking at Saka as well. I have actually thought about Saka because, like I said, Bruno Fernandes, I've been sure about him. And we presume he's still on penalties?
Nah, I don't think so. He had the ball, didn't he? He had the ball, and Arsenal always pass it. And he was the one holding the ball when VAR looked at it and didn't give the penalty against Newcastle. I think even Trossard, I think, went up to, we saw it on camera, went up to Saka and pointed at Gyokeres, and he was like, yeah, I'm just holding it for him. So I think it's going to be Gyokeres on pens.
I think Eze and Saka are going to end up having similar type influence on this team in terms of, I think Eze gets into the box a lot more than Saka now. I think Saka will probably do a lot more crossing and a lot more creating. And Eze will just be maybe that guy that makes those runs just off the 10 position, just into the box to get the shots off. I wouldn't be surprised that for me, I think Eze is now looking like very good value for money if he's just going to consistently start. The only question is if he is because Odegaard's back, is there going to be rotation? Would he try and play both of them?
Play him on the left? Does he play him on the left and Odegaard
sometimes?
Maybe. But if Eze was playing in the 10, I think Eze would be incredible value for money right now.
I think like all right, against Crystal Palace he might not, but against Burnley, Sunderland, for example, I could very well see Eze on the left, Odegaard in the 10, and Eze can be effective if you've got possession against a low block. When he can drift into those central left positions, that's where he obviously like done what he done at Palace, wasn't it? In that left 10 for Glasner. So he could definitely do a job there.
It's interesting though, because when you're playing against the high lines of, say, an Aston Villa or a Spurs last season, or Man City, you want your Martinelli on your pitch on the left because you want to be running behind. But against a lot of the opponents coming up next, they're going to be so deep. Like Nuno's West Ham will park the bus. Like that's a you want Eze and Odegaard on the pitch. I'm really interested in Arsenal, and I think we have to be buying them this week. If you're on wildcard like me, you're going to be tripling up. But let's rank the best attackers then, and then we'll talk defenders. For me, number 1 is Saka.
I agree.
And then I'm going Gyokeres 2, Eze 3. But I think they're all brilliant. And actually, we haven't even discussed someone like a Declan Rice, who at 6.5 has routes to points. That's half the set pieces. He's good. Matisse, would you go Saka or Gyokeres at 1?
Gyokeres.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gyokeres for me. I just feel like, everything's into him.
Fair.
And he's going to demand that he gets the goals as well. Like that he gets the opportunities. I feel like he's one of those strikers that just make it about me.
Yeah. He needs it.
Yeah.
Is it safe to say that neither of them are the number 1 Arsenal pick overall?
Yeah, let's talk defenders.
Yeah, because I was going to say Gabriel is. I mean, I had him in my team from 2 weeks ago.
9 points that goal got. You got 13 points from Gabriel, but that one header in the last minute,
exactly,
it was painful for me as a non-owner. 9 points because you
nice.
know he's getting bonus.
It's ridiculous.
It done me nice, and he's. I mean, like we know this about him, right? Like this is no surprise to us that he's a threat. He's a threat in the box. So with the way Arsenal set up their set pieces, and he is always
The target.
The target.
Yeah.
He is always, because they know, and it's actually like. It's getting to the realms of this is like he's actually starting to become a force in the box now. Like we're talking about who are some of the best centre backs when it comes to scoring goals. Like
John Terry back in
yeah,
the day got a lot.
that's what I mean. So he is now entering that realm of conversation when it comes to goal scoring centre backs from set pieces. It's actually unreal. Vidic was very good. He was very good, but I mean, like, we all know it's going to Gabriel, and they still can't stop it.
You can't stop it. And there's enough distraction there because you've still got to put big men on Calafiori, on Saliba.
Timber.
Yeah.
Timber's a problem as well in the box.
Yeah, Marino's good in the air too.
Marino is. Declan Rice takes them, to be fair. But they've got big men. So
Gabriel, did you see last night? Gabriel came off injured, and Arteta did say something along the lines of he was struggling a bit, so we didn't want him to continue, so we bought him off, but we think he'll be fine for this weekend.
Yeah.
It sounds like Arteta's probably playing up to that from a PR point of view, hoping that Brazil don't take him to their friendlies in Korea and Japan, and he's probably going to be absolutely fine. But yeah,
they're in Korea and Japan.
Because I think the South American qualifiers might be done, so they're going. Which is why when João Pedro was left out, I was like, this is good. I don't want you travelling back from Japan on a Tuesday, Wednesday for a 12:30 early kickoff
against Forest.
That scared me, actually. I thought he might have got a rest. But
with these internationals, like if you're a European player, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
But if you're South American or in Asia or in America, the time difference kills you. Like it really does.
Yeah.
I think that's why I don't think I have that many South American players in my team until this international period is just over, because it's just too. I think Caicedo I've just added in this week because he's just a freak fitness wise. But apart from that, not confident with those breaks there.
Yeah, Enzo Fernandez, that early kickoff as well for him against Forest. He's quite popular in FPL for many reasons. Other Arsenal defenders of note, Timber and Calafiori both got the rest last night. We fully expect that, and their first choice in the Premier League. Like, that's good for them to get that rest. Saliba back fit, and obviously Raya's been one of the most popular goalkeepers in the game. Yeah. I still think Pope at 5 million might match him. With Pope, you get more save points. You might match him for clean sheets, and you'll do better in the bonus. Guys in the chat, let us know who you think. Question from Benji: Sarr or Eze? Oh, if you could only pick one, where are you going, Nick?
I would. Oh, well, that's quite tough actually, because Palace do have decent fixtures as well. But I might just edge it to Eze. It's tough though. That's close because also Sarr's a fair bit cheaper, isn't he?
It's about $1 million in it,
Yeah. Oh, that's tough. That is a throw up. I might just about edge it to Eze, but if you go Sarr, it's perfectly understandable.
Yeah.
I edge it Eze as well, but
it's tight.
It's just about Odegaard for me. What that looks like for Arteta.
That's the thing. We still don't. We don't know what's going to happen.
He's guaranteed to play Rice and Zubimendi, so there's only one advanced 8 spot left. He's not going to go 2. Could barely get him to do 1. And so now it's just about whether he moves Eze or he takes Eze out, and because he might want to just leave one of them on the bench to have that kind of superpower weapon type player on the bench that can change the game. Either or.
He's talking a lot about his starters and his finishers now.
Yeah, exactly.
And he is making a lot of 75-minute subs. Even the likes of Saka aren't seeing 90. And I feel like Arteta's learned a little bit from the amount of injuries they've had over the last couple of seasons.
Essentially.
And we're seeing that those minutes managed a little bit. Don't know.
Yeah, because I mean, last year that's what kind of threw their title chances, wasn't it? It was the Havertz injury, the Saka injury. Saliba was out for a period. Gabriel was out for a period. So yeah, there could be a bit more rotation. And like we said, they have added a lot of depth. We said this before. They do have probably the best depth in the Premier League at the moment.
Yeah,
so there will be some rotation for sure.
Paul's in the chat. He's in South Africa, Cape Town. He's on free hit. SARS in my team. He says, let us know where in the world you're watching from. Hit us up with a city or a country, guys. Let's talk about the most transferred in and out players of the game week so far. It's always good to see where the masses are going. And we've got a graphic here to show you. So obviously, Haaland most transferred in, and Senesi. We've seen these familiar faces. Mark Gahey's getting a lot of love. I prefer Richards and Lacroix personally. Semenyo too, and then Gabriel. So it's the usual suspects, but the top transfers out. We need to talk about this man at the top, Mo Salah. I've dropped him on wildcard to get a Saka in. I know it's such a dangerous game doing that. Matisse, where are you at with the idea of selling Salah? Because for many, they need money out of Salah so they can buy a Haaland. But forget the Haaland question. Salah alone, or do you chase a Saka?
I could understand taking him out just purely because as well Liverpool have got Isak and I've got Isak, and I feel like not only with Salah, just as at some point you'd expect his influence in this Liverpool team to start dropping. Yeah. You just don't know when, and you don't want to be that guy that does it too early. A lot maybe would have thought maybe it's last season, then he goes and have his best ever season, right? So you don't want to be the person that goes in too early. But at the same time, with the way that Liverpool have decided to restructure their attack so aggressively, what do they know that we don't? As FPL holders, do they know something that we don't in regards to Salah in terms of, okay, this season it might be a 15-goal season, which is still really good from wide, but it's not what you necessarily paid for on the game. So I could understand taking him out until you actually start to see some consistent performances. Even last season, as great as he was, he did have that patch in the second half of the season where he kind of went missing a little bit when they went out the Champions League. So I feel like when you start to see these top players like Salah's, like De Bruyne's, they either pick up injuries or they start to have these patches, you kind of need to document it and note it down as just value for money, really. Because if he was cheaper, it wouldn't be a question. But because he's so expensive, you got to think about it.
Yeah, for me, I feel like it makes sense. And I feel like if you've got Salah, it is probably the time to move on for a few different reasons. Firstly, because so far, the points haven't matched up with his price point.
No.
Secondly, he hasn't looked himself this season. He's looked off it a little bit slow to things, and actually just not getting on the end of as many chances as he formerly did. And thirdly is that Liverpool don't look quite right at the moment. Nah. Things aren't ticking for them. Obviously coming off the back of 2 defeats as well. Galatasaray, they weren't good. Now Galatasaray, that atmosphere can eat up teams and players. Trust me, as a Man United fan, I've seen it firsthand. But
he said the best he's ever played in.
Is that what he said?
That's what Sam said. Yeah.
So I think it was Andy Mitten, who is a Man United journalist, a very good one like that. He once done a what's it called when you get the measurements of how loud something is?
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So he went to different grounds, measuring how loud they were, and Galatasaray was right at the very top. So it makes sense. So I do see that. But yeah, either way, I just think with Haaland and with some other better and actually some of the cheaper midfielders are just better at the moment.
Yeah.
Like they're better value for money.
Yeah.
There might be a bit more money in the defence. We talked about Gabriel before. So Salah just at the moment isn't really worth it for me. João Pedro at number 2, surprising though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think people may have seen the red card in Europe and thought it affects Premier League. Maybe, I don't know. That is a weird one. I mean, Mo Salah, I'm with you. Like, if you're not captaining him, it's hard to justify that spend. And I look at the next 5 weeks, whatever, and I'm like, I'm just going to be captaining Haaland. And if it's not Haaland, it's going to be an in-form player.
Yeah.
And Salah's not showing us that form. And this season, we've watched Salah over, 7, 8 games? Premier League 6. There's only been one game I've watched him and gone, that's the Salah I remember from last year. And that was the Atletico Madrid game. He sat a couple of defenders down, scored a good goal. And, Atletico Madrid are class defence. We all know that.
Yeah.
But he's had a lot of games and a lot of airtime where I've gone, this guy's not getting the shots in the box.
No.
He's not even producing the XG, which I want to see the chances. And I just wonder if the share of points at Liverpool is going to drift away from Salah a little bit.
Yeah. And also, this is like, it's dangerous to say this, but at 33 years old now, is he starting? And I know, like I said, it's dangerous to say it because it is Mo Salah and he's been unreal for how long now?
But it's got to happen at some point.
Exactly. And is this the season where, like you said as well, with the changes in the attack, and maybe you don't need to go through him as much, you go through Isak a little bit more and Wirtz a little bit more.
Yeah.
Is this the season where actually the numbers do fall off a little bit?
We're going to be in our words. Next week, we're all going to be saying bye Salah, aren't we? We're going to be like, he's going to do a Ronaldo. He's still got it. He's not lost a yard and he's banged in a hat-trick versus Chelsea. But yeah, I've ditched him on wildcard and I'm very nervous about that. Final thoughts then on captaincy this week. I'm going Haaland.
Yeah.
Matisse, you mentioned earlier Semenyo. You think you'll stick with that?
Yeah, I think I'll stick with him, yeah.
like that. Home to Fulham's a good one.
Yeah, I think Haaland's just the outstanding candidate, isn't he? Even if you got him. Even yesterday against Monaco, 2 goals, very well taken.
Brilliant header, the second one.
Yeah. The first one as well, the little dink. The second one was just a very nice, like, put it right in the corner.
Right in the corner, yeah.
And got enough power behind it as well, because it was a bit of a float across.
Yeah.
But the first one was just not your typical Haaland goal, because it was a little delicate, like, dink over the keeper, and it's like, oh, that's just, you've got the physicality, the power, but then you can also finish like that. It's silly.
I think this is the best I've seen Haaland. And I know the numbers aren't as impressive as the first season yet, but I'm watching him and I'm just like, you've got a slight edge to you this year that I've not seen in the past. Slightly more aggressive, like the goal against Arsenal showing us a lot. The delicate touches. Yeah.
He's scoring the nicer, like, we've seen him score the tap-ins time and time again.
Yeah.
But now he's scoring the nice. And actually, I feel like he's looking at this Man City side and going, I need to take the mantle a little bit, because we're not as good as we once were. I need to lead. I'll be the man to step up. There isn't a De Bruyne, there isn't a Gundogan, so I'll be the man to do it. And even yesterday, his quotes are very telling. He was like, I'm not happy.
Yeah.
He dropped points.
His player of the match award, he's like got a straight face and holding his award. You've never seen someone so annoyed to win it. Guys, you've been amazing. We've loved having so many of you in the chat. If you're watching on catch up, you can still drop a comment and we'll get back to you if you've got a question. We'll be back very soon. We've got the weekend warm up with Matisse in 20 minutes time. Stay tuned for that and we'll see you in the next.
Calling all football fans in the UK, it's official. GFN Soccer TV has launched on Samsung TV Plus. All the banter, all the news, all the time.